What, Soups, you there?
Yeah, man. Me there, live and direct.
You know what? I was going to say it's a bit different when we do it on this, when I say Soups, you're there. But actually, you know what? I've just realised when I say it on radio, there's a camera on me as well. But I've just only thought about that, bub. Anyway, what is good, people? You are locked into the Lookout Show presents Tudor Fat, a new show hosted by myself. My co-host, as always, everything I do, it's Super G.
Oi, oi.
And you know what? This show it's a new one. It's the first show. And what this is about is it's about getting to know the hosts, because over this last year, the world of podcasting, the world of YouTube in that way has taken off differently. There's a lot of new faces about, and we're all speaking to each other, but none of us really know each other that much. And you know what? I think there's a lot of backstories. Don't you think, Soups?
Definitely. Everyone's got a lot of layers. So we've got to like do a little bit of a deep dive, try and peel back the layers. I used this earlier. Everyone's onions. We've got to peel back the layers, find out what's inside, and just reveal people's like inner selves, you know, what makes them tick.
Exactly that. And the thing is, eventually it's going to be in here in the cave. Right now, obviously, because of lockdown and whatever else, we're doing it remotely. But the whole vibe of this is just to kick back and get to know someone, make them feel comfortable, and, you know, find out the backstory behind them. Now, when I was thinking of who my first guest should be, I want to find the people that've got layers to them. And I was watching a certain podcast called Sarcasm City, and the host on Sarcasm City just had that vibe that, you know what, Soups, is that type of vibe that could come on our radio show and would just be exactly the same as us straight away.
That's it, rapport building. It's nice and easy to just vibes with.
Exactly that. And the maddest thing is, I think he's a Man United supporter. That is the maddest thing, yeah. Yeah, so
Come on.
I'm ready for it. 2-0 win and all of that. I'm ready for it. But let's get straight to it. Our guest this week is the one and only Flawless from Sarcasm City. What's good, G?
Yo, first and foremost, man, big up for having me. Especially extra special big up as well, because it's the pilot show. And obviously you lot could have reached out to anybody. So to reach out to me to be the first guest on a pilot show, I appreciate that. So love for having me. And yeah, my man's blessed. No complaints. And yes, you're correct. I am a Manchester United fan.
Yes. Love that.
You know what? So like with you and Jan, it's a City and United.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah, me. Shout out to my Don Jan City. Yeah, me and her. Yeah, she's Manchester City. I'm Manchester United. So that's why we do on Sarcasm City TV. We got many different shows. So we have Mandem United podcast, which is myself and my boy JV, and that's all United. And then she tweeted me one day and was like, "When you gonna let me do Gyardem City?" Because she a Manchester City fan. I was like, "That's a genius idea." So then her and Rose, they created that, and then we also do the crossover show as well. So yeah, that's where that came from.
Okay. You know what it is? And the thing is, Sarcasm City has been popping up on my YouTube for a while, right? You know when things just keep popping, the algorithms are clearly effing with you, right? And they're just like, whatever I watch, you just seem to match what I watch. And then the other week, after I finished radio, it's about 12:30. I usually put YouTube on a Friday night, and I thought, and I started watching it, and straight away the vibe was just right. It was like I was in the zone. It was just exactly the type of show that I would watch. The type of show. Right? So yeah, I had to reach out to you, bruv. Even though you are Man United, and I've been clocking you going at City a bit still.
Nah, you know what it is? Because I'm a Manchester United fan, yeah. Everybody gets it. Arsenal, Manchester City, Leeds, Newcastle, Liverpool. Everybody, like, I give it to all our rivals, because when it's Manchester United, people don't hold back. So this is why I go all the way in. City, there isn't really too much to go at with Manchester City, because they're the best team in the league. They're going to win the league. There isn't much to, but you can always find a way in that. I'm shameless with it. So
you know
it's all friendly banter, isn't it? That's the thing.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Everyone's like noisy. They're the noisy neighbors. You know, we just get at them. It's just like a nice rivalry to have, innit? It's just location bants.
Yeah,
you know what it was?
1,000%. Yeah, go on, Daps.
You were going at Jesus. Yeah. You were going at Gabby Jesus, but you were going at Gab. What was it you said?
That he's the Brazilian Timo Werner.
Hey,
double kills.
Listen, Gabby got a goal tonight, innit? In the Champions.
Yeah, he did. And I was doing a watch along literally before I came on the show. And did you see the chance he missed as well?
He misses.
Did you see the chance he missed? That's Gabriel Jesus. Get me?
Nah.
Like, all jokes aside, like, I've run banter because I'm absolutely shameless with it. But I've said this before. How are you in a Pep Manchester City side and you're the only fit striker and you don't play? Yeah, and you don't play. You don't play. Yeah, I'm saying, man who don't play your position are playing in your position, and it's not like it's just one or two. We've seen De Bruyne play the false nine, Gundogan's played the false nine, Mahrez has played the false nine, Sterling, Bear man. You know what I'm saying? You're the only fit guy, and you don't play as a nine. You are City's worst attacker.
Do you know what my problem?
Do
you know what my problem with Jesus is, right? Is that I don't want to defend him too much and sound like a Scouser defending Bobby. Yeah. And that's my concern with defending him. That like I don't rate, for me, Bobby, for me, no, right? For me, definitely no. But with Gabby, what it is, I wouldn't play him centrally. I like him out wide. I think his runs cause havoc and he does lead the press. But I know that whole lead in the press you're going to get onto me about right now.
Big up Limar as well. That's because Jan City tried that and she was like, oh, because it was we did a watch along for the Liverpool City game and it was 1-1 when he came on. And then she tried to like praise him up, like he had any impact in the goals. And she's like, oh, he presses well. It's one of them. You're never going to have a perfect 11 or perfect squad. So even Manchester City, as great as their squad is, I'm going to find something to get onto them about. And it just happens to be Jesus. I just genuinely don't rate him. I
hear you. And like I said, when I defend him, I feel like a Scouser defending Bobby Firmino. So I'm not gonna go too much. But so that kind of answers the first question. You support United. I can tell by the accent you're from Manchester. Whereabouts?
Yes, Manchester, born and bred, southeast. So like, not too far from the city centre. Actually, I don't know how well you know Manchester.
So I used to live in Sandbach, Crewe. I used to live just off of Deansgate for a minute.
Okay, you're not far from me.
My sister lives in Chiltern and another one lives in Davy Hume.
Okay, Charlton's not too far. Like Manchester, you can get around anyway. But yeah, since you said Deansgate, I'm not too far. If you know, ironically, I'm not too far from the Etihad. Like that's not a million miles away from where. If you know about the O2 Apollo, like right there wherever I live, O2 Apollo. Like that's the area I grew up in, pretty much, not too far from there.
Wow,
when I used to live in Manchester, I used to live in Suede nightclub. Suede?
Yeah, Suede. Yeah. You're talking about Suede. I used to live in there.
Which one is Suede? Is Suede the one behind Deansgate?
You know what? Because when I go out in Manchester, I go Northern Quarter, so I know what you're talking about. But my ends of there, and I prefer going out of town because it's easier. Because always getting hassled from bouncers when it comes to that.
Yeah, you know what? That's the one thing. Like, I can't remember the name of the club, but there's one club. Like, we love Manchester in it. We love coming up there. It's on our like when we're on a road trip, it's Manchester. But that I think it was Suede. You know, was it what Soups? Is that where Flirt was?
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah, one time we rolled up there and like they wouldn't let man in because we had like a pair of designer shoes on, and that was it.
That's like, what happens. Sorry to cut you off. Happens on a reg. This is why I go out of town. Like when it comes to Manchester, because the hassle I get from bouncers is ridiculous.
Yeah. Why do bouncers? Why do bouncers do that? Why do they think they've got like a little bit of authority just to pick and choose?
Because they have
who they in or what? It's ridiculous.
Because you said it there. It's the authority. It's a power trip. That's what it is. This is why I prefer, because it's like, right, I'm coming out to have a good time. Like, I'm not come up to stand and chat to you. You know what I'm saying? I've come to spend money in your establishment, which is then putting money in your pocket. Because if there's no customers, then you're not on this door. There's no work. Simple as that.
But I think the thing with Manchester is that Manchester in the 90s and early noughties, the clubs were a madness. Like, the town centre was an absolute madness, with like club doors, all of that.
Yeah, it's all nuts. It's a bit before my time that you're talking like the 90s and the early 2000s. But yeah, obviously I know older dons who told me about all that. Yeah, Manchester's always lively. Always lively. It's a lively place. Great people.
What was that club that opened like at about 2 a.m?
Which place?
It's joined to the Is it the Printworks?
Oh yeah. You're talking about the Primworks. Yeah.
It's on the outside of the Printworks.
Okay. You know what it is? Because more time really small. More time I'm stumbling around in Manchester. I'm waved in it. So man's memory is in it. You know what I'm saying? Waved in it.
If you're not stumbling around Manchester, then you're not. Are you really even in Manchester?
This is what I'm saying, and I'm out to get wave vibes. You get me? Be with the man, them, with the all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Have a good time, and like that's what it is. That's why
what's like tedious thing? What's your drink of choice?
Oh, JD and Coke. I'm a Jack Daniels man. Yeah,
all night.
Yeah. That's me all night. Yes, I'm good. JD and Coke and that. Nah, I'm a lightweight. So if I start switching up and mixing drinks, it's gonna be a wrap for me. Yeah, I'm a lightweight and that. So yeah, JD and Coke is me. If I'm sipping beforehand, Alizé as well. Big fan of Alizé, but you don't really smell that in bars.
You know what? Hold tight DJ slacks, because Alizé, that used to be our
it's a beverage.
But he has carried it on. But you know what? I'll be 100. Like, there's certain drinks I could drink. If I was to drink Alizé now, I'd be head quickly. Quick time.
Nah, the thing is though, that's why I drink it, because not only does it taste nice, it's not the heaviest. So say like I'm going like Carnival, for instance, which I'm hoping Notting Hill Carnival's happening. Every picture of me, I'm probably clutching onto a bottle of Alizé in it. Like,
do you know what the maddest thing is?
Alizé. Yeah.
The maddest thing is that we've all grown up in different locations, but we've all lived the same life.
Yeah, for real.
Yes.
So we've all been to Carnival with a bottle of Alizé, walking around, going at Rampage, falling over, having a good time, of course. But yeah, Alizé was definitely the soundtrack to many a good Carnival, Sunday and Monday.
Love it. Yeah, man. Both days. You know what I'm saying? You're my type of guy. Both days.
Stamina.
And one time I came up to Manchester one bank holiday weekend. Funky D had a couple of bookings up there, and we went to on the Monday before we left, we went to Manchester Carnival, the one that's in
it's in Moss. Yeah.
Yeah,
in the park, in Alexandra Park.
Yeah. Bruv, that was a different vibe to Carnival still, bruv. Like, I saw a lot of trench coats and big long jackets in the middle of the summer, bruv. I was like, you know what? Let's do the show and get out of here, bruv.
Exactly that, and that's
they could smell man from South as well.
And the fact that the way you've just said that is exactly why when it comes to Manchester Carnival, I'm like, bypass that. Notting Hill Carnival, I'm there. Both days, Sunday and Monday, I am there. Like, I love it. The vibe, like you said, you don't get that type of vibe in it. Like, there's the odd occasional fight, but me personally, or any of the circle I've ever been with, we've never had no qualms. There's no issues whatsoever.
Do you know what it is?
Carry on.
I was going to say, I think it's the fact that when you're from a location, you know all the madnesses that are going on and you recognize people and whatever else. Whereas if you're not from the location, you just vibe. And and I think to a certain extent, I'll say this, Southerners are a bit weary of Northern man, They're a little weary when they hear the accent. They're like, what is this guy really on? Like,
is it the reputation going ahead of itself? So when they hear a Northern accent, it might be that. Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Because they've seen Peaky Blinders. is that what it is?
That's Birmingham.
No, I know. But so you said you're a carnival goer.
Yeah.
If you're a real carnival goer, what time do you get there?
Oh, we down there from the day before and that. So we got a hotel pattern beforehand. The day before, the Saturday we're landing. So then Sunday we're up.
What time do you touch the road?
We looking to be out midday-ish latest in it. You looking to be out, you get what I'm saying, in the heart of it, like everybody knocking on everybody's hotels doors and that, like everyone you stay all the man them like, yo, it's time to go in it. Everyone get food, McDonald's around the corner, let's dip. Yeah. And then we dipping and everyone's sipping and that. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's ready to go. I hope it happens this year.
You know what? I happens this year. If it goes down this year,
fire. Oh my God. Big up Zayn as well. Big up Zayn.
Everyone's going to be living their best life. Yeah, big up Zayn.
Big up Zayn.
You know what? I was thinking a lot of I was thinking about this soups. Obviously, the Euros start. When did the Euros start? Is it like?
I think it's just after.
Yeah.
Sometime I think it's just after where Boris Johnson said that lockdown is going to be eased, like pubs open. I think it's sometime in June. I believe it's sometime in June. Yeah.
So we might be getting June in some form or another. I think we will get it. It's just how many fans are going to be in there.
Yeah.
And I like last summer they were talking about maybe all of it being in the UK now.
Yeah, is that what they need to put it in one place? You know what I'm saying? Especially with the pandemic going on, it's easier to just do it like the NBA did it and just have a bubble, so you can get it on. Have a bubble, put everybody in a bubble, all international teams. Nobody leaves this bubble. Have 4 or 5 stadiums, whatever, and figure it out. Even if they want to do it down south, there's so many grounds down there. If you want to do it Midlands, if you want to do it up north, you have ample. If you're going to do it in the UK, you have so many resources.
Our infrastructure, you could take the Premier League out of it and just let Championship clubs run it, and we've still got the infrastructure over it. Like it's mad like that.
You have
facts. So but then we might get, you never know. We might get V Festival, we might get Wireless. I was thinking, Soups, will we get what's the Portugal one? Afro Nation. Will we get
Nation? Yeah.
Will man get their money back, or will they get Afro Nation?
Contentious one. Yeah, I think it'll go ahead. If it can go ahead, then it will go ahead, and that'll be absolutely crazy.
So I know we've touched on football briefly, and I want to get back into it. But firstly, you're involved in music, innit?
Yeah, I am involved in. That's what started everything. So before doing the whole live streaming of football on YouTube, before getting into media, before battling, it was music. That's where it started from.
Right. And this is exactly the vibe I got, yeah. And this is what I was thinking, because I think with a lot of people that are maybe, not all, but some of the football people that I'm coming across, I think some of them have that backstory of being involved in something else, and then just kind of moving over to
Yeah. Soup said it. No, us three have. Well, I've not met either of you two before this, and he said even though we're all from different places, we've lived the same life. It's kind of like that. Music is a backstory to most people's lives. Like we can all remember where we was at when a certain thing happened, a certain album dropped, a certain track came out, etc. So that's where it comes from, because a lot of people that I've linked up with via the live streaming, via the football, they're into music. Some of the same music, some different. We'll discuss certain things, and it's like, so that's probably why you sense that with me, because you can sense it because it's most people. Most people. I like that.
So in what form were you involved in the music thing?
So the music started, if you want the backstory, so music started, it was just like grime was massive when I'm in high school at the point. Everybody spraying bars, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, I hearing people's circles at lunchtime, in cages and that, everyone's spraying. This is all new to me at this point. Obviously, I knew about American hip hop, but I didn't know anything about Brit. The only British things you heard at that point is like More Fire Crew, Oi. So Solid Crew, 21 Seconds, that type of thing.
Faves, by the way, one of my faves.
Yeah, that type of thing. And then boom, I'm hearing this. Obviously, Channel U blew up. Channel U's golden era is completely different. So I'm hearing people. So I'm like, you know what? Right, let me just try write something. Me and one of my duns for no reason whatsoever. Let me try it, and it started writing bars and that. Terrible, but it is what it is for like 2 years. Terrible, innit? When I think about some of the bars I wrote, terrible.
We've all been there, bruv.
All been there, and then boom, still getting love in the cages football, and then it got to the point where I got half decent at it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and that was a fad at that point because everybody had bars, everybody was writing. But I'm like, I enjoy it. Let me keep going. I've always been good at English before that in school, so it's like, all right, I always got funny shit to say. This is why you always hear me bantering and joking and stuff like that. So I'm like, let me keep going, and then even in my ends, there's a youth club. Boom. There's a youth club. You can go there, spray bars. I'm spraying bars with all the man them. You know what I'm saying? And every man them spraying bars. I'm getting reloads at this point. I'm going to parties. People are really know my bars and stuff like that. So yeah, man, just gassed. You know what I'm saying? Just gassed. And then this is like going into like the MySpace era. So then it's becoming where when you're young, there's not really any direction. There's no direction with it. You see how like today you lot have set up Chew the Fat. All right, let's get flawless. We're going to do this pilot episode Friday at 10. When you're young, there's none of that. There was no, we're going to do this, go studio, release a mixtape, blah, blah, blah. So then shout out to my brother Tox. Me and him met in college. That's my bro. You hear me still to this day, like Cody and that. You'll probably hear me mention his name a lot because everything that's gone on, he's been a part of. So this is why you'll hear me mention him a lot.
And I saw you post something by him because when I was trying to do a little research, I saw you post something by him. So it's decent still. Hold tight.
Yeah. Tox is absolutely fire. That's coming out on Lab 51. So that's coming back into the music because that's something we want to get back onto this year. And it was supposed to be last year, but then I started doing this media thing via YouTube and this blew up. So this then took priority. But then I was like, so
it gives you the form to bring this back through, and that's the whole.
And that's what we did. That's why we released a couple things. So boom, man spraying bars, getting love. Then me and Tox were like, you know what? Let's start just jumping on tunes, going in the studio. So we in the ends, you know what I'm saying, in man's yard, spitting into a mic that's like taped onto the wall, that type of thing. Had a producer, you know what I'm saying, created the click at the time. Take note, there was more members, and we were just going studio. The producers were making beats, we barring, blah, blah, blah. But then eventually it got to the point where man's getting older now, older teenage years. I'm like, all right, we talented. Let's do something with this, innit? And then members in the clique, we kind of like not fell out. There was just no direction. I'm like that. If I'm on board, if I'm on board with something,
so far, everything.
That's exactly. And it's like I'm cool with everyone now, but it's like everyone has different ideas of where they want to go. And I'm one of them, like, I'll ride for the team, but it has to be going somewhere in it. Don't just let's have a direction. I don't mind who's the captain. My ego's not like that. Like if we setting some up, just us three. If you're the guy and you're the lead guy, I'm cool with you being the lead guy. No issues with that. Is the team doing well? You know what I'm saying? I'm cool being the third. Soups can be ahead of me. No problem with that whatsoever. So I have no issues or qualms with that. But it's kind of like there's nothing going on. No one's taking lead and it's just drifting. And I'm like, we're so talented. There was like 5 or 6 of us. We had everything. We had a studio. We had producers. We had MCs. People fucked with us, blah, blah, blah. Then we've all like not had it out. But I'm the one, Tuck still blames me to this day for this because he's like, yo, you broke up the original team. I'm like, yo, it had to be done so we could have success down the line. So everybody said whether they wanted to go. At this point, I'm thinking it's totaled in it. It's nowhere. And then me and Tux was chilling one day. And I said to Tux, I was like, yo, are you on this? And he's like, yo, I'm on this. And then I said, I think it was I remember the date. I remember the year. It was 2012, I believe. And I was like, right, what we're going to do at the top of this year, this is a January conversation. Still remember where we were stood to this day in it. Big main road in Manchester when we were having this conversation. I said, we're going to touch every YouTube channel in terms of freestyle videos. I said, between me and you, we're going to get something out once a month from February. So you have, like you got your JDZs and P110s, but there's loads of them.
Consistency.
Consistency. So I'm like, all right. So I touched it was called Big on Road TV. It's mad that I remember this. And he did shouted him. He was like, yeah, bomb. I sent him a track. He was like, I'm on it. He flew down to Manchester. We recorded the freestyle video. I'm like, all right, it went well. The video was sick. He put it out. I woke up the next day, it was on 1,000 views. I thought I was a mega superstar.
You know what?
Celebrity status.
I thought I was celebrity.
But 1,000, like this is the hardest thing I find. When you come from music and then you come into this world, it hurts at first because you get lower views doing this football podcast thing at first than you do.
Definitely.
And when you spent a lot of your time looking at the music views that they get, and then you jump into this world, the one thing that I found is like, it was wounding, man. Like Soups will tell you every day, I'm like, we need to throw some money at advertising. We need to do this. We need to do that. But 1,000 views, first freestyle.
I was gassed because at this point, I was known in my ends, like as a local MC. Like people like, oh yeah, I know Flawless did there, but it wasn't nothing like that. So for that to go on YouTube, for the likes to be so good, the comments the video's still up now, for the comments to still be so good, I was gassed in it. So I said to Tox, like, yo, it's hit 1,000. All right, boom, we're onto something. We know that, right? So we're going to keep this going. So it was either me or Tox or both of us on a freestyle video every day, every month that year. And we did that. We picked different. We did this as well. We traveled, and like the majority of the freestyle videos you see me on, I traveled, whether it was Nottingham, whether it was Peterborough, whether it was Birmingham,
Peterborough.
I'm in Peterborough. Yeah. We're gonna get Pete. Like I'm like that, and Tox, fortunate enough for me, he's like that too. He's not one of them who'd be like, oh, you get this a lot, and you lot know this being in the music, being involved in music. Oh, that's long. I don't want to go. I don't want to do it. Blah blah blah. I don't want to go next ends.
Especially the hardest thing is if there's no money in it or no real money in it, and the ends means money, then they're like, nah.
That's it. Whereas we were just of the vibes of let's go, to the point where I met people and they didn't know I was from Manchester because they'd seen me so many other places. I thought he was Midlands.
Exactly. The thing is, when you're not doing it for money and you're doing it for the love of it, that's the best way to achieve what you want to do.
Yes.
Do you know what? There's a comment from Zane, yeah, and it resonates exactly with what we're saying here. He's saying it's the baby steps that count first. Then boom, you're on the scene. So you do have to put one step forward. You might go 2 steps back at first, but you just got to learn your lessons, learn what to do next, navigate the right way, and work your way through to your goals. And yeah, it's good.
That is the thing, the learning thing. Like even with our thing soups, the amount of times we've done something, in our path, and we've just given up because it's long. Like with radio shows or with DJing and this, and we'll just give it up. And now we're trying. Only now have we learned that consistency is the key, man. And
consistency is the key.
Working then. So carry on. So
boom, we done that this year. So after the big on road one happens, Tox is like, he's there, he's cold as well. We both 2 MCs. Fortunate enough, we have producers around us who can give us beats. So we just start hitting different channels. So it's big on road, Swagger Camp Medias. I don't even know if there was one in Nuts called what's the name? I think it was UGX. Different one. So we touch radio, all FM and stuff like that. So we get to the back end. We get to the end of the year. Had a good year. Our names have grown. People are looking forward to us next month. People are quoting, people at me or at Tox on Twitter, be quoting our bars. Went to the next one. All right, cool. Now I'm like, now we've done the groundwork. We don't have to be out here every month. Let's be a little bit more selective in terms of numbers. I was never looking at the numbers the first year when we did that. Never looking at people's subscribers. But now we're adding more value to whatever channel we're going on to. Let's be a bit more selective. So we was a little bit more selective, but we're still putting stuff out. And then shout out to my Don. We're still Dons to this day. My guy King of the Hill TV, he's based in Bradford. My boy JG. I reached out to him. He does mad numbers anyway. I'm like, this is worth doing. So boom, gone down to Bradford. Still one of my favorite freestyle videos to this day that I did the freestyle video. Me and him just became cool since then. And then what I like about JG as well is at that time, P110 and JDZ were the 2 biggest.
I was going to say
freestyle videos.
I wasn't sure if you mentioned P110, but P110, are they Birmingham?
Birmingham based, both Birmingham based. No, JDZ and P110, both of them are Birmingham
JDZ based. As well. Yeah, them 2 are the biggest ones in Birmingham. Definitely, I know quite a lot of them.
And at that point, they were the 2 biggest, like around. I don't know what it's like now because I don't really follow it, but at that point, they were the 2 biggest.
I know JDZ Media did a lot with. Is it Socks?
Yes, they did stuff with Socks, yes.
And then P110, I know they did a lot with, I think they did a bit with Mist early doors and Mist. They definitely did some with Remtrex and RM as well. They did quite a lot with them, some big freestyles. I think they are the biggest in Birmingham still.
Yeah, so at that point, so then I've done the freestyle video with King of the Hill. The numbers, they were my best numbers at that time. And then JG's hit me the next day, and this is why we've been cool ever since that happened, is because he was like, yo, P110 rating you. And then he sent me the comment, and there was a comment from someone who runs P110 and said, this guy's cold, shout me. He didn't have to do that at that point. But the fact that he did that, I'm like, rah, this is the first time I've met you. You've hit me up. I think it was a few days later and been like, yo, P110 rating you. So I'm like, that's a big look for me. So me and JG, minus him being an Arsenal fan, we're cool. You get what I'm saying? And like, that's literally it. We banter each other about United, Arsenal, but that's it. And that was 2013, 2021. We're still boys. We're still Dons. We still shout each other for stuff like that. So then, boom, hit up the guy, P110 Media. Flew down to Birmingham for that. Shot that one. And then in between that, I ended up going to, who was it through? Trying to remember. It was Roadside G's, which was a click from Nottingham.
Roadside G's.
No, not Roadside G's. That's the wrong name. Oh, what's the name of the click? No, I'm wrong on that Roadside. What is the name? I forgot the name of the click anyway, but it's a click from Derby. And I became cool with them because you get cool with people. You know, like how you've reached out to me for this. So then I've reached out to them for... So we've just hooked up, and then they reached out to me for a cypher. So they were putting bare different clicks on. So it was in Nottingham. So there was us Manchester-based, take note. A click from Nottingham, a click from Sheffield, and a click from Peterborough. So everyone's done a freestyle video, which I think is still out to this day. And boom, Peterborough, there's a big MC from Peterborough called Canaman. He was on Lord of the Mics, but it didn't come out in the end, but he's very well known.
One of my people, because we're not too far from Peterborough, We're
so if you got people from Peterborough, they'll know exactly who Canaman is in it. So boom, he wasn't there, but his people were there. So then when the videos come out, he was like, let me check this out. Then he's added me and was like, and then he's added me and Tox, and he's like, yo, you man are cold. Blah, blah, blah. Let's link up. And I'm like, that's big, because at this point, Canaman, his name's fire now, but he had a much bigger name than we did back then and still does. So we became cool. And Canaman is another one of my dons who I'm still cool with to this day. And then he's got the shout for JDZ because I wanted to get on JDZ. P110 and JDZ were my objectives. I did P110. I was like, right, I need to get on JDZ. It's very tough at them times to get on JDZ. The guy shouted him.
So they're being more selective with who they're having on. So you want to kind of
very tough.
Your star and then make them aware of you so that you can get on there.
Yeah, because around that time, outside of, if I know the era you're talking about, and like that era there, Birmingham, Manchester, all those ends, basically outside of London. So although to you we might sound like we're from London, we're from like what? Train 45 minutes, drive hour from London.
Okay. Are you man Luton based?
Luton, Milton Keynes, Bedford.
Okay.
But everyone always sees us as London. But we feel the same thing, that like breaking into London is hard. We got close, we got on, but it's hard work.
For me, it wasn't even a breaking into London thing. It was just more so of like, I'm just like, if you're a fan of me, I'm with it. I don't care. Manchester based, because what's mad is when I'm doing all this music thing, when I'm doing this musical thing, and we're going through it, I'm getting more love from outside the city than I am in my city.
Yeah. And this is a thing that like, it's good collaborating with different people. And this is the thing. I feel like a lot of people outside of London, that's what they've done. They've just collaborated together. Had to. Like, and the fact is the UK is bigger than London. Like, and now that's why people like H, people like Mist, people like they are able to break the whole scene because they've got a huge fan base in their ends. Like,
that's
and
what
not
it is.
Ends everywhere outside of London. Anywhere in the north, they're rating anyone because it's like we're now city by city breaking in. Like,
I kind of feel like before, London was the entertainment hub. So obviously, like BBC, it's like got Capital, all of that was everything was based in London, like television centre and stuff like that. But now they've got head offices in like Manchester or other places, and I think that allows the spotlight to be on the local areas where the head offices are. So that then obviously expands the pool of talent, and it allows people to grow their star and get themselves out there a bit more.
Do you know what? As well, Bob, I think people outside of London, have like some of the artists that you see coming up, like their personalities are different. Like their rhyming patterns are different. I love the way Northern Man managed to rhyme words that we could never rhyme. Like,
I get what you're saying. I've heard man say that before. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
But at the same time, I've got friends that like they struggle. Like the minute they hear a Northern accent, they're like, nah. And I'm like, nah. Listen, like I'm a big fan of A-Star. A-Star, I love.
From Liverpool, right?
Yeah, from Liverpool.
I'm one of them. Forget the accent thing. Do I like your music? Do I like what you're trying to bring? Because people will say that, but then listen to Americans. That's the mad part.
Do you ever check out? So do you ever expand that and check out music that's in another language? So like they've got some French rappers and Spanish and stuff like that. Would you ever listen to or vibe with anyone like that?
It's one of them. If I vibes with you, yes, I will vibes with you. Because when it comes to music, I'm lazy in terms of looking for new music. I'm just lazy with it. So unless if one of my dons hits me up and goes, yo, check out this artist, I will check him out because he's done that. I'll check him out. Or I just have to be like YouTube when you're just running tunes and it's on a playlist. That's how I found out about Casanova. I was just running music. I like street shit in it. I'm into my gangster shit. And I was playing, it was a tune, and then Set Tripping came on and I was like, right, who's this? That's what I was thinking. I was like, this is my type of thing. And then I rewound it, found out about Casanova, who he was, realized he was linked up with Taxstone, who's linked up with Charlemagne, who I listened to Charlemagne's podcast and radio and type of stuff. So it all goes full circle. But yeah, so unless I find you on accent, is what it is. Say again?
He's in pen now, isn't he, Casanova?
Yes, unfortunately, he's locked. I'm not over that. You know what I'm saying?
The thing that I've found a bit with the Northern accent recently is a lot of Southern or London acts can sound a little bit the same-ish on tracks.
I hear you.
Whereas sometimes I find a Northern accent adds a new layer or a new melody to almost to the track a bit. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
I get what because I think for you, because you're from down south. The north is just something different. Whereas for me, the north, if I'm listening to people from down south, it's just something different. It's something new. So when you're saying that a bit samey, that's because it's Milton Keynes, Bedford, London. You're hearing all this from when you're growing up. So you're used to hearing this music. So as soon as someone from Manchester, Liverpool, Birmingham, Sheffield, wherever else, just something different, is more inclined to catch your ear because, oh, this is something new. This is something like, because to me, there's no you're from a certain place, I won't listen to you. I'm not with that.
I'm not with that as well. I'm 100% with that.
Whether I either like you or I don't. I even think you're good or not. Like, that's not based on the accent. Like, unless the accent gets in the way of me understanding fully what you say, but then that's the part of grime and rap at times. You're not supposed to catch everything first time. When I'm rapping, if you catch everything first time, I did something wrong.
You haven't tried hard enough. That's right. You haven't tried hard enough.
Real talks.
That's just me, but that's just my style. But yeah, go on.
We listen to me and Soups are the same. We listen for like two syllable rhyming patterns, metaphors, or
metaphors, like
multi-syllable rhyming. It's a one, like
talking my language. Like that's the type of stuff that I go to. Like I'm like, all right, let me see how many punchlines and stuff. That's what I'm trying to like punchline.
There's this thing that there's like a saying that people say where there's a lot of people hear music, but they don't listen to music. And
the Jay-Z line from Renegade, sorry to cut you off. Do you motherfuckers listen to music or do you just skim through it?
Exactly. And you know, I think obviously if you're in the music scene or if you've done stuff in the music scene, you're kind of in tune to the stuff that goes on in the background. So you listen to like production stuff, or you listen to certain sounds, you listen to rhyming patterns, rhyming couplets, like Daps was saying. So I think that enhances your music listening pleasure.
Yes,
experience.
You know what, Soups? Your old school MCing is coming out now, talking all that talk. He used to MC, you know. So the way we linked up was I was a DJ.
Yeah.
He was a he was.
I was also a DJ.
You were a DJ, actually. You know what?
You DJ and MC. Okay, let's go.
He used to think he was Wiley. You know, that's what he used to.
No, you used to think I was Wiley.
I used to drive past Soups every day. I knew who he was. I knew he was an MC, but Soups back then used to rock the Averex, had the Cisco blonde hair and all of that.
Let's go, Soups.
And then we bucked, I think, probably at a youth club.
Yeah, I think it was Jubilee or something.
We bucked at a youth club, yeah. And then from there, pretty much, because there was like in Bedford, there was 4 main cliques, and we just started effing with each other. And from that point, he was like a host. I was a DJ. To be honest, I DJ'd grime with Imp Batch and Macabre Unit, but I was more of an R&B and hip hop man from early. And to be fair, same with Soups. Soups is more of an R&B fan from early.
I hear that. I hear what you're saying in that, but that's what it is. Like you said, it's all about what you like and what you want to listen to. And as you get into music, you probably look further in depth and you're likely to be more critical. But then you're likely to praise certain things because you know how tough it is to do. This is why if I hear somebody trying to put punchlines and metaphors and similes and double rhyming together, I'm like, I know how hard that is to do. So I respect
that double rhyming, that double and treble multi-syllable rhyming, you clock that quick.
Yeah, you clock it rapid. And I'm like, I respect that. You know what I'm saying? And then putting your own flavor and own personality on it type of thing. So yeah, I understand that. And
so go on. So what was I going to say? So I want to ask you a question. Are you UK or American, like listening to?
It proper varies, you know, because the stuff I listen to like old school hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my vibe. But then I listen to the new school hip hop in terms of, I've already mentioned Casanova. Big fan of Uncle Murder. I'm a grime head though, so I go back and listen to. I'll go like I mentioned Channel U. Those times I go back and listen to grime. I'll go back. I've got it on my phone. Listen to Gets and Skepta, Clash and Logan Sama. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of stuff.
So who was it? So I used to be a DJ and Soups was a host, MC, for a crew called Macabre Unit who used to make beats. And you'd recognize. Can you remember Sidewinder?
Oh yeah, of course. Remember Sidewinder? Yes.
You recognize some of the Macabre Unit productions, and we played at a couple of Sidewinders and whatever. And then Imp Batch, which made beats as well. Can you remember Crazy Titch Sing Along?
Of course, I remember Crazy Titch singing.
so
Hey,
that's
this girl who sing along. I remember like I'm watching Practice Hours DVDs and Crazy Titch and Dizzy are going at it. Like I'm a grime head like that.
Right, okay. So, but we used to come up to Manchester. Who was it? Virus Syndicate? Were they Manchester?
Virus Syndicate,
yeah. We came up to 1 or 2 raves up there with them, and a record shop when we released a single up there and stuff. Yeah. But so UK wise, right now, who are your top 3 in the UK?
That's a tough question. You know, like I said, it's more so I don't really have a go-to artist in terms of that. I'll just hear new tunes.
Life or death. You got to be. You got to be ruthless with it.
Ooh, is it UK? Who am I paying attention? There is, I swear down, there isn't really anybody like that where I'm like, all right. Obviously, if the old school guys drop, I still need to check out Gets' album, but that's something on the bucket list. You know what I'm saying? Gets definitely in it. If I'm a big fan, I think he's severely underrated. I'm a big fan of Trim. You know what I'm saying? So if Trim drops something, I listen. Big fan of Trim.
And have you checked out any of Trim's new stuff?
Like, I haven't. This is what I'm saying. Because I'd be so busy live streaming and stuff. I need to incorporate this, but I want to check out his new stuff. And
Trim is the same Trim. He's just more kind of like I want to use the word trendy or kind of what's the Soups, you're better with words. What's the word to describe Trim right now? He's more like a hipster. Okay. But still the same cheeky Trim, bruv. Still,
that's why I like. I have done ever since. You get me? Since he was in Roll Deep, like I've been a big fan of him. So if I see a new,
we used to go to London with a ghetto blaster and record Deja Vu like 10 till midnight, then drive back to the ends. Like we were big grime heads. But Ghetto's thing, you have to check that out. Bro.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check Ghetto's thing. Like 1,000, I've heard nothing but good reviews about it, so I'm gonna check it. But yeah, like I said, when it comes to artists, there's no artist that I really check for in that. Right, as soon as they drop, let me go and check that. It's more so just hearing a tune because I'd be at radio and I know DJs, etc. I'll hear a tune and be like, who's this by? All right, boom, let me go catch this. That type
if the vibe hits you, then you'll
yeah. Like I said, I'm just lazy with it when it comes to. I really should do more, but I just can't be bothered. I'm not gonna lie. Some of the time.
You know what? I'm with you. Like since we've started, so I quit as a DJ. Kind of like once when Dex went out, I kind of stopped DJing for a while and was doing other stuff and this and that. And then
he means proper decks. He means turntables, proper Technics 1210.
Then was doing other stuff and whatever else. And then started DJing again, playing in clubs, and was getting quite a lot of bookings. But it got to a point where I kind of had too many bookings. I'd grown up a bit and got a missus, and she was turning into a wife and all of that. And so I stopped DJing completely. But when lockdown started, I was like, you know what? I've got a place to do it. Radio were like, whenever you want to come back on, you can come back on. So me and Soup started doing it again. And every Thursday, I have to check out the new releases because the whole our vibe on radio is we only play UK.
Okay, right.
Try and only play the freshest UK.
Yeah, I hear that.
Which, when we think about it now, Suits, we never should have done it because music comes out Friday, 1 a.m, and our show is Friday evening. I've got a day job and I have to radio edit stuff, so it's a nightmare. But, so I'm kind of the same, that I now am having to check more, but I'm the same as you. If someone tells me to go and check something,
I'll check it.
I'll go and check it. But the one, so you're not overly into UK hip hop or UK
not
rap?
Overly, nah. UK rap, UK hip hop, not really. Nah. Like I said, I'm a grime head. If I hear certain grime, I'm like, all right, this is more my vibes, definitely. But again, UK hip hop, if there's something I hear, I'm not gonna not listen to it because it's UK hip hop. If I hear it and I'm like, this is banging, I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to vibe to it.
So the one person I'm going to say to you, because everyone's sleeping on him, so I'm going to boost him, is go and check out Tex Sinatra.
Tex Sinatra. That's a fire. Tex
Sinatra.
Yeah.
Honestly, his project this year, sensational music. If you're into are you into kind of like that Fabulous-y type vibe?
Not really, Like I said, I like my street shit. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
You're when he was on teaming up with D Block and
so that's a little bit more gully. Like I said, I like the street stuff and that, but I will still listen to someone who's lyrical. Well, then beats is important for me as well. If the instrumental's banging, I'm more likely to give it more of a chance because I'm like, there's tunes that I listen to and it's like I don't even like the verses too much. I don't even like the artist's verse too much, but the beat is keeping it there. I've said this, in it. Once you get a producer who they're layups, you can say anything. There's certain beats that you get, you could say anything on and it's a hit simply because the beat's that good.
But
simply because
I feel like that with half of Heady One's tunes still.
Oh, geez, I don't listen to Heady One like that, but I see how I say that, and it makes and it strikes a chord in you where you're like, I feel like that with Heady One. A lot of these beats are fire. You get what I'm saying? When I hear a lot of tunes, I'm like, that was a hit before you got that. I'm saying, but you still had to go and do your thing. But I'm saying you've been given a layup, which the producer should do, which is why I would love to try and find a producer who's giving me a layup.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm trying to do. I love that.
100%. Like I say it on radio all the time, and it's a bit controversial, but I just talk. I don't really think. I talk first. But Heady One, I rate him because he manages to select these beats. Like, and there's a big thing to that.
That's a talent in itself.
Absolutely. I don't think lyrically he's sensational. One or two tunes, he's tuned with nines, he's spun nines, so fair play. But generally, I don't think he's lyrical. But his beat selection is sensational, like because he's selecting bangers that,
and that's a key.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a skill in itself. That is definitely a skill in itself if you're an artist on selecting beats, because that's the first thing people hear.
Yeah,
when they hear you, that's the first thing they hear on the track. And like I said, it's gonna probably keep them inclined. Like I said, there's tunes that I don't particularly like the artist's verse, but the beat is that banging where I'm like, all right, let me get this and get the instrumental as well. I find myself doing that a lot where I get a tune and I look for the instrumental. I'm like, this instrumental is fire.
Yeah,
so
for real. Well, we could hook you up with a few producers still. So
might have to talk after the show still.
Real. Before we move away from music for a minute. So plans with music, anywhere people can find your music.
So at the moment, you will find once we start releasing music without going all into it, because we're trying to sort a few deals, you can catch Sarcasm City TV because there's a music playlist on there. So not only can you catch the new stuff that Tox has been releasing this year, there's older stuff on there as well. So the freestyle videos I mentioned, you can catch them all on there. But music is definitely going to take more of a priority this year. So hopefully, you will see actual project releases from me, videos, etc., etc. Like you're going to get that from me and the team, definitely.
And it's all on Sarcasm City, yeah?
Oh, if you go to Sarcasm City TV, you'll see it. If you follow me at that's me flawless on Twitter and Instagram, you'll see it. You'll see me promoting it. You know what I mean? I don't stop promoting, so you can't miss it if you're following.
Can't escape.
You can't escape it. No.
The same thing that you said on Never a Foul, we've just recently started up. So what we've got is Never a Foul's our football thing with a couple of other guys, Hold Tight Ty and Chris. And then we've got the Lookout Show, which is our radio thing with me and Soups. But we've now started a Lookout Show playlist on Never a Foul, where we're starting to put UK music on the channel as well. So I'm going to grab a few of the things off of yours and throw them in there 100%.
Yeah. Grab, like I say, Tox just recently did, it was like a J. Cole remix that was filed. The video's dropping on Lab 51 that I put the preview out for that today. Well, I posted the preview out. That should be out soon.
That's what I heard earlier. Cole.
Yeah. They're the new ones to put out. And like I said, I'll keep in contact with you about new releases because definitely we're in February, like probably March, April. From March, April, May times, I'm going to start putting pen to paper more often and start putting things together, getting deals done, selecting beats, all that type of stuff, getting group projects out, etc., etc.
So do you know what?
Just make sure, like, obviously, we'd love to play them on radio and stuff like that. Get it out there as well, like, kind of help with the promotion run and all that. Make sure you give us a radio edit because when we're on radio, it's crazy. Even though we play like at a late night time, where you think swearing should be allowed. Yeah, a radio edit absolutely everything.
Because the station that we're on, so we do it on Mixcloud, we do it on Twitter, we kind of go to as many platforms as possible, but the original station is legal FM, so it's legal. So because it's legal, we have to radio edit, and they're strict on But you know what? The amount of artists that don't think about that, and the amount of do you know what? There's times where I say to people, I want to play your music, but your whole hook is based on a swear word, bruv. Like
you can't do it.
Your whole hook is swearing, bruv. Did you not think about this when you made this? Like, I can't play that. Like,
what's mad is we've got a tune that's banging and the hook has swear words or has a swear word all the way through. But you can still, if we don't do a clean version, you can still radio edit that. That's what I'm saying. I make sure when I send to rate, anytime we have tunes, we have the explicit version and we have the clean version. So I make radio edit version.
That is vital because what I have to do is I get them off a lot of people that don't think like that. and I have to reverse every single swear word. Yeah, and the maddest thing I've found is you see these drill artists that are talking the cruddest crud. Yeah, but they're talking slang, bruv. So it's calm. You can let that go because it's like they're not saying, although we all know what they mean. Yeah,
they're not saying
it. Yeah, but then someone can be talking just talking about being in a club with girls and whatever. But the words they're using, like, bruv, I can't let that run because your words are just like. Your whole hook is based around that one word. Like, you said it 25 times. Like.
Exactly. And that's what it is. So now I make sure when I send out any tracks I'm on to radio, that the radio edited version is radio. Like, I do it myself. Like, I'll clean the tune myself. So, and I've been on radio with people where I've had to do it. Like one of my big bros, he's a DJ and I was on radio with him. And a lot of the time he'd get tracks sent to him. Not clean, or can you clean the tune? Yeah, no problem, man. We'll just do that because you can do it quick. But I'm like,
it's pretty quick once you get used to it. The mad thing is, what I've got used to now is so every Friday I kind of go through, and I'm so used to WAV formats now, that I can pick out I know when certain words are coming by the shape of the WAV, bruv. Like that's how big it's got. Like I know
radio. You're a radio guy. Yes,
he's in the Matrix.
You are that is in the Matrix. Like that is yes. You got all the numbers flying up. Yeah, that's mad.
If I had the numbers, I would have cracked what they're called algorithms by now, bruv. Because that's what I'm trying to crack right now. It's the algorithms.
I hear that. Oh, like you said it earlier on in the show about consistency and things of that nature. But yeah, I always make sure when I send out stuff that it's clean, and I'll clean it myself, so I know I'm not leaving it to somebody else. So I know 1000% I've edited this. It's clean. Don't worry about it.
But you see these little things that you get used to. Yeah, is what these little extra miles you're willing to go. Like there's no mistake that labels recognize the little miles that artists are willing to go. Like on a bigger scale, if you're missed, you got that deal not because of your music. Although I'm not knocking Miss Music, I like Miss Music, but you got because when it was a visual thing, you took the whole visual thing to a level that no one was willing to take it to. Yeah, and if labels see that and thinking this guy's investing in his visuals, this guy's investing, he's got work ethic. Man are going to go with him. He's not one of these.
People respect that, whether it be people who are going to invest in you, whether it be supporters. People can see that. You can't hide consistency. Like talent is subjective. Someone can think someone's talented, someone's not talented. Consistency can't be hide. Even if you don't rate him, right? Is he consistent or is he not? Do I see this guy making tunes every month? Do I see him releasing videos every week? Do I see him releasing projects on a constant basis? Do I see him promoting all the time? Like all of these are yes or no things. There's no gray area.
Kind of a bit like Marshall v. Sterling, I like.
Yeah. I like how he's got that in there. I like how you got that. Hey, the thing is with Marshall, you're Ollie Tax in it. That's what I'm putting that down to. Ollie Tax. Everyone dies over here. You know what I'm saying? You have a terrible manager.
We're going to move on from the music and get on to... We're going to talk Man United because I've got two Man United fans and you're a United fan. So I want to talk. Soups is one of them. Right. So if I tell you where I am with Man United, as a City fan, I don't hate Man United, right?
That's mad to hear that, but go on.
You know what it is? Yeah, it's because most of my friends support Arsenal.
Okay. Right. So they're the number one up.
If I talk or Liverpool, I hate Liverpool. My mum and real dad are London. Mum remarried when I was 3. Mank from Didsbury, moved up to Manchester. My dad is inbred it in me. Like, and I fought it for a long time to like, no. Liverpudlians are like, they're all right. But my dad hated Liverpudlians. I'm going to be 100, My dad hated Liverpudlians. Like, if a car when we lived in Sandbach, if a car got broke into, he'd blame the Scousers. It was just like, no debate. No. He don't need no evidence. It was the Scousers, So what did my sister do? She went and married a Scouser, right? Just to...
Poetic justice.
That's how it is. Like the Chris Rock joke says in it, whoever you hate will end up in your family.
And I'll tell you one. The first time my sister went, so he lived in Anfield.
Okay.
And the first time she went to stay with him, she middle of the night, she woke up and was like, I heard a noise. He goes, oh, it's probably the kids playing. So in the morning, she got up, went out to her car, and her car was there with no hubcaps, not alloys, no hubcaps, yeah? And she's like, oh, someone's taken my hubcaps. He goes, I told you, the kids were probably just playing. Like, that's that. But I've fought it, but I don't fight it no more. I've accepted it. I dislike them, innit? Like, I dislike them. I dislike their team massively.
Yeah. That's what I'm with. Like, I like Scousers. I've no problems.
No. Of course, I like Scousers are funny, but I hate their team, buff.
I hate Liverpool FC, yeah, and that's ingrained in me from being a Manchester United fan. They, for always and forever, will be the number one up. Shout out Lauren and that. She crying tears because her team were 11th. But yes.
Oh, no.
But yeah, so that's how it is. And the other thing is that, like, I was of that age in the era of Cantona, Hughes, Giggs, Solskjaer, to be fair. I could list off a million United players that
superstars.
When I was young, when I was a regular at Main Road, yeah, I had to live in envy of them, man. Like, and that's the thing, that as a City fan, you have to have a certain level of respect for the dominance, like the dominance of Man United back then, and the beauty of the football and all of that. Yeah. Banging Ipswich 9-0 and that, like,
yeah, man, we were the bar and we still are the bar.
So I can't hate that. And to be fair, like, with the United fans that I know, they don't overly disrespect the City team too much. Like, they don't get too bitter on the spend. They don't get too bitter on any of that. They don't. Like, honestly, it's a fact. Whereas the Arsenal, man, the other teams, they get mad bitter on the spend and start bringing up talk about how much we've spent and this and that, and talking about one. Hold tight, James, in the comments the other day, he said to me, "What was it, Soups? Economies of transfers." Like, when man are talking football, it's using words like economies of transfers. I don't care.
This is good business. That transfer was great business. It's like, shut your mouth, man.
So
the reason why people hate is because you lot are successful in it. That's what it is. But I just find more creative ways to hate. There's always something. You know what I'm saying?
Like, be honest, my buttons get pressed mad easily, bruv. Like, mad easily. You could press buttons like that, bruv. Like, but with United,
go on,
James. I had to block him last year when we got knocked out of the Champions League. I had to block him for about 4 months, bruv. He messaged my phone personally.
Who's James support? Who's he a fan of?
Liverpool, bruv. So he's getting it right now massively.
Oh yeah, his team are in the mud with wellies on. Yeah. He's dead.
But so with United, my issue with, like, and people sometimes think I'm hating on them. My thing with United is settling. This is what I always say, that you're settling. Some of the United fan base, not all, but some of them are settling for mediocrity. And when they're defending Marshall and talking, like, I'm like, hold on. Don't tell me Marshall is your number one striker when you're used to, like, you can list off about 20 strikers that are better than him over the years. Why are you defending this guy? Like, he's not playing for your club. He's 5 years in, and you're still defending Marshall. Like,
here's the thing with that, though. The reason why I defend Martial is, one, because I know he's a talent. Like, that to me can't be disputed. 2, he was our joint top goal scorer last season. 3, he was our highest goal scorer from open play. So the talent's there. We've seen it. He's just been in the worst possible predicaments to succeed. Oli is the worst possible platform to succeed. He was under Mourinho. We all know what Mourinho does.
I'll give man a blow on Mourinho, because
Mourinho does.
I said to United fans before you got Mourinho that you man are used to winning things but playing good football. You've been spoiled. Yeah. You now bringing in Mourinho might win you 1 or 2 things. He didn't, to be fair. He won you 1 thing, but you're selling your soul because he's not bringing you no good football. And with Oli, I don't feel like, my thing with Oli is, I say Oli is he's got no minerals. I can't see him getting you over the line on anything.
Facts. And you know what's mad? When you say that as a City fan, it's calm. But when I say that as a Manchester United fan, I'm negative and not backing the team. Everybody believes that. Nobody believes, even the people who are Oli in, believes in that this guy can win United a Premier League or a Champions League. Absolutely not. Like, I want to be wrong about this, but I know I'm right. And back to your Martial point as well. All roads, shout out my boy Musa, who said this on United Central, all roads lead back to the dugout. We're talking about Martial, who's been poor this season, who I'm a fan of, he needs to be dropped. But it gets to a point where when a player is out of form and a manager continues to pick him, when is the manager held accountable to keep on picking him?
Yeah.
When is the manager held accountable? He never drops anybody, and that's not just Martial. Ollie doesn't drop anyone. And when I say drop, I'm not talking about you don't start the next game and then you get off the bench for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm saying drop properly.
Because this is a lot of rotation right now. So I'm dropping in one game. Drop.
Yeah, you don't play for 2 games. You might not even make a squad for 2 games, type of thing, innit? Like, make these man think.
Like it was recently.
Yes, you know what? Hold on, James. I think me and James are on the same. We're thinking of the same things at the moment. Like when you're talking about Ollie, Ollie's right. He hasn't got the right minerals or whatever, like Dap says. And I think he's like James says, he's a man for now, not for the future. So I think he's putting in some good groundwork. Like he is setting up the team to play in a sort of like getting the right types of players in, or trying.
That. I've said that about Ollie. The job he's done in terms of improving this squad is massive. I like this squad. You know what I'm saying? Like what he's done, what he will leave for the next man compared to what he has inherited is crazy. Ollie deserves full credit for that. But then that goes down to the criticism, because it's like, you have a better squad than both Mourinho and Van Gaal. Yes, the football is just as bad, and both of those 2 men win trophies. So when are you going to be held accountable?
I think that's a good thing, because I've been saying for quite a few years now, United's squad is not trash. Like,
no, it's not. But if you watch the football we play, is trash. Our results sometimes are trash.
The worst thing is, I don't know which Man United is going to turn up each game.
Our football is awful. Like, I be doing watch-alongs for Manchester United games, and when we win, my boy JV said this to me when we did Random United yesterday. You're happy? I was like, I'm happy United won, but he's like, it's more relief. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got through it. I don't enjoy watching Manchester United anymore. And for a one-off game's cool. If United don't play well and go away from home and win a 1-0 at Anfield, for instance, that's cool. But playing 2 holding midfielders at home to Newcastle.
Why are we doing this come from behind FC? Why are we
doggy style FC, man? That's what we are. You know what I'm saying? And that.
and this is a thing that I always say, that Man United have been spoilt. Like, you didn't just win things. You weren't Chelsea. You man won it in style. Yeah,
dominated.
And that's all I say. Like, I mean, we're gonna move on real quick to Harry Maguire. Like, what I'm saying about Harry Maguire is, I'm not gonna say Harry Maguire is the worst defender in the world. What I'm gonna say is, he's the worst captain. Take the armband off him and let him go back to basics like AJ had to, and learn his trade. Like, again.
I like the boxing analogy there. That was good still.
Like, because he's got so much pressure. Like, he is in a team with a couple of French players. We all know French players, yeah. Like, they can have a bit of a chip on their shoulder. They're definitely a click there. And you've got players like Bruno that are winners, like natural born winners. He needs the armband. Like, from day one, he needs the armband. And I think if you release Maguire to learn his trade again, he might be an all right defender. But while he's got that armband, I think he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders. Like, and no one's giving him no respect. I don't believe in that dressing room anyone's respecting Maguire at all.
Not only does he have the weight of the world on his shoulder, he's playing next to a centre back who's awful in Lindelof. Lindelof is the most passive defender. Like, as bad as Maguire is, Lindelof is worse. I'm telling people.
Worse.
Go and watch. Here's the thing is, I want people to do watching this live or watching this back. Go and look at when United concede goals and do the still shot for when the opposing player is scoring. Do the still shot and notice how Lindelof's never there. He's never even on the scene. Whether you rate Maguire or not, Maguire is always trying to prevent it. He'll be trying to make a slide tackle. He's in the shot. He's trying to block the shot. Do I believe Maguire is good enough? No, but I'm going to get onto. So Maguire is in the worst possible predicament in terms of Lindelof next to him. He's got a goalkeeper behind him who I didn't want to see at the start of the season in goal. And De Gea, he was good. And then he's fell off. Even the header against Newcastle. Put it this way, Maguire's got a free header inside the 6-yard box. Keeper, come and catch it. Your centre back has just had a free header in the 6-yard box, not competing, free header. If that's an aggressive goalkeeper, a commanding goalkeeper, you come and catch that. Literally, that's what it is. Yeah. On top of that, you've got, sorry to cut you off, you've got Luke Shaw, whose form is turned up now, but he wasn't good. And then you've got a DM or 2 DMs in front of you who aren't good enough. So Maguire is surrounded by everybody who's not good enough, and he's not good enough himself. And then you've got a manager and a coaching staff who's not good enough. It's mad. So you're in the worst possible predicament.
Yeah, I feel like this is a thing that, like, I think Maguire is having to try and concentrate on two things, and he's having to concentrate on being a defender and issue instructions on how to defend to Lindelof. But then at the same time, he's having to remember how to defend, and it's too much for him. Like, it's way too much. He needs I think if you take the armband off of him, you might see a different Maguire.
Possibly. And just to that comment that James Allison made there, where he's like, is he not meant to improve? Obviously, he's not that good himself. That's the problem.
No, he's not.
He's
not
that good himself.
No.
And Gary Neville said it on Sky when he was like, Maguire's biggest problem is Lindelof, and Lindelof's biggest problem is Maguire, because they don't suit each other. But he's perfect in terms of he's just injury prone.
Yeah,
Maguire,
this
Maguire
is a
was there next to Bailly.
Me and Ty had early doors, like beginning of the season, and I compared Bailly to Stones. I said, you know what, both of them, can be good, but this whole play 2 games off for 3, play 2 games off for 3, that's not good for the team because you're getting no consistency. Like, Stones has now come good because and the same with Bailly. I think Bailly is a good defender, but he needs to sort his fitness out, because he can't be coming in and out. It throws everyone. Like,
he does.
Do you know? I think the problem with Bailly is that he's definitely a personality. He's a personality in dressing room. He's a personality on social media and stuff like that. So I think when you're a personality like that, you kind of don't take things seriously. So that's why he's getting himself into stupid things. Car accidents. He's getting himself into stupid tackles in training. He's injuring himself before games. I just think he's just so. I think if he just kind of focuses, puts his head down, he could have a really, really, really good season and be a good partner to someone like Maguire, and then elevate the rest of the team.
Go on, you touch.
I hear exactly what you're saying in that. And Bailly would be, he's better for Maguire. When Maguire plays next to Bailly, minus the Spurs game, he looks much better. He doesn't look as bad, because Maguire's obvious biggest weakness everyone can see is pace. So the obvious thing to do is put somebody who's quick next to him. That makes perfect sense.
So why not Axel Tuanzebe? Why not him?
Because of the manager. That's what Ollie tasks. That's why. Is Ollie in it? He's the only one on planet Earth who persists on playing these two men together when it does not work. Play 2 holding midfielders at home to Newcastle, who are 17th in the league and 3 points above the relegation zone.
And you know what? I like that you're going to Ollie, because this is what I was saying to hold tight Ty. Ty needs to get you on Trafford Tunnel 100%.
1000% get you on Trafford Tunnel.
You think it's more of a club problem? Don't get me wrong. I'm Glazers out and Woodward out. They need to go.
We all are.
Glazers and Woodward and good for Manchester United. But what I'm saying is, all I'm asking Ollie to do is put it this way: with the owners and the board we have, United are not equipped for long-term dominant success. So winning back-to-back leagues, winning Champions Leagues back-to-back, etc. All I'm asking for is for Ollie to get the most out of the squad he has, and he's currently not doing that. I've said this before: how can a whole team be out of form?
I think the thing is, and that is my thing with Ollie, that I've been saying from early, and I've been having to battle, not just United, man. I've had Arsenal, man, saying, nah, you know what? When United were top round Christmas, I was saying, look, we ain't winning no league. You're going to get over the line. Why? I said, because I look at games like Leipzig, where all you had to do was it win or draw that game, and you would have gone draw.
We'll go through.
And when Man saw that lineup, everyone was like, what the fuck? Like, and he's not going to get you over the line. I go, second thing, when we played you in the league, and you 0-0, it was a stale game, it was a shit game.
Yeah, we just didn't go for it.
But then the second game, we dominated you, in the Carling Cup, right?
Oh, now, yeah.
We were shook. Don't get it twisted. After the game in the Premier League that was like a week before, we were a little bit shook, right? And then Solskjaer did not pick up on that, did not capitalize on that. If you would have beat us in the semi-final, it would have been very similar to when we beat you in the semi-final of the FA Cup before we'd won anything.
Yeah.
You beat your local rivals that are currently a bit better than you in a semi-final that gives you the kick. You would have gone on, won the League Cup. Your group of players would have the winning mentality. Next season, you get. But the fact, again, he didn't get you over the line. I'm like, this guy, whenever there is a chance to get you over the line, he's fucking up. Like,
why? Because his ceiling depth is third, and semi-finals. And he's done the job he's supposed to have come in and done. He's done. James Allison mentioned it there. But we've had sustained success with the Glazers. The difference is we had the GOAT in charge. So that's why I get what you're saying, James, is not wrong, but we had the GOAT in charge.
When did the Glazers take over? When
2005. It was 2005.
Okay.
And even then,
he was a GOAT. Anyone that says anything else, he was a GOAT.
Even then, though, we had the GOAT in charge, and still at times the football suffered. I think the league title United won in 2011. We won 3 games away from home all season in the league.
Wow. Damn. Try doing that.
I think it was Ashley Young's first season. It was, we won 3 league games away from home. So that tells you the standard of that squad and how after Ronaldo left, we faltered in Europe. After Ronaldo left, we did
we still haven't replaced Ronaldo. We still have
a conversation. You got a point there. But the squad that Ollie has, I'd say this: the squad Ollie currently has is better than the squad that Fergie had that won the league title.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that. There's players in your team that I wouldn't rate, but I still rate. I think Fred's not a bad player, but I think in your style of football, and like when you have crap centre backs, you need solid dogs of a DM. Yeah. If I look at City, right, I love a dog of a DM. I like a Nigel de Jong that goes out. Right?
Destructive DMs, I like them too.
And this is until this season, I've been critical of Rodri because he's not a destructive DM. He ain't got that dark art of football like Fernandinho, right? He's just a passer of the ball, and he can do an interception, 1 or 2. He can hold the ball. So I've been mad critical of Rodri. Yeah. But all of a sudden, when you get Diaz in and you get defenders that can really defend, all of a sudden you don't need that dog in front of you because your centre backs are good enough. United are at a point where you ain't got that, so you need a dog in front of them, and you ain't got no dogs at the moment.
What's mad? I get what you're saying. That's what what's mad about what you've just stated there, and I'll ask you both. I think we all agree on this. Manchester United's worst part of the defense, the midfield, and attack. The defense is the worst part of Manchester United's team. Agreed?
100%. Yeah, 100.
Okay, and where has Ollie spent the most money since he's been in charge?
In the middle.
On the defense. He spent 8 million on Maguire. He spent 50 on Wan-Bissaka. So listen to this. Our defense is a problem, yeah? But our manager signed a left back, a centre back, and a right back. When is he going to be held accountable?
Did he sign them?
Yes, I believe they were his signings.
I think they were on his signings. They are already signed.
I'm a big NDD fan. I'm a massive, just Zane knows me. Like, yes, I'm a big NDD fan. But that's my whole point is this manager's never held accountable for anything. You've signed a left back and a right back and a centre back, yet we're still here talking about the defence is not good enough. How have you started the defence is good enough? That's mad.
This is mad. This is how this is a proper debate, because I'm now going to come to Ollie's defence, right?
Yeah, go on.
If we look at City, how much have we spent on defenders till we got it right, bruv?
True say, you spent a lot of money, but you know what the difference is? That's Pep Guardiola going in there with a CV. And I say this to people all the time, why I'm so harsh on Ollie. CVs matter. The thing is with Pep, when Pep comes in with all the success he's had previously, even when it went wrong in the first year, you're like, you know what? This is Pep. He can probably get it right. And he did. Same way with Klopp. What he did at Dortmund before he went into Liverpool. It doesn't matter if you're a manager of a professional football club, you're working at Foot Locker, you're working at Subway, McDonald's, whatever job you apply for, 9 times out of 10, most jobs, the first thing they ask you for is your CV, because they're trying to gauge what kind of job you will do in that.
And you know what? I've been saying this recently about Pep. When people were going about the amount he's spent, and would he do it at this club? Would he do? I said, listen, the guy's got a CV where he don't need to do it at that club, right? They've paid big money for a big boy manager. Let's move away from football. If you're a big boy manager in whatever job you do, if you come in and you notice the weak links and say, I want rid, and I want you to, that's the first job. That's the job of the manager. Then it's over to the board. Are you going to back your big boy manager or not? If you're not going to back your big boy manager, he ain't going to be a big boy manager because he said to you what is needed. If you're not going to put what he needs there,
I hear that. But even with getting what you need in, you still work with what you have to the best of your ability. Yes, there's no such thing as a perfect squad. I've said this before. Look at the Liverpool side Liverpool won a Champions League and a Premier League without a striker that scores goals. They have a non-goal scoring number 9, yet people want to criticize Martial and say he's the problem. City are currently 10 points clear in the league and don't play with a number 9. I've seen Pep win Premier Leagues with Fabian Delph at left back and Otamendi playing at centre back. So what I'm saying is there's no such thing as a perfect team. That's what I'm saying. There's no such thing.
I love that you see that as well. I love that you see that.
Every team has issues. So I'm like, yes, I give Ollie a bly on that. Like, yes, you need it. But the thing is, you signed 3 of the back 4. So now if you're telling me these ain't your signings, say something about it. Do what Villas-Boas did at Marseille and say, I didn't sign this player. Because now when this player comes into the squad and he doesn't perform well, nobody's looking at Villas-Boas when you don't know. Like, you signed Donny and not using him. Donny's a good player.
Yeah.
What are you saying? Give Ollie 1 more year?
Nah, I want him gone yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
I've had enough. Yeah, I've had enough.
I'm replacing with who?
At this moment in time, I take Allegri right now.
Yeah.
I take Allegri in a heartbeat.
Isn't he quite defensive though as well?
Hey, I don't care. Girls' results at this point. I wanted Poch's going to take Allegri in that. That's why I want. Simply because look at what Chelsea are doing. That could be us. I think they'll finish second. Simply because, and I think they'll finish second. Because their squad, I said this from the start.
Oh, their squad's great. Yeah, beginning of the season, I came on and said they could challenge Liverpool with that squad. I think they're just missing a bit of experience is all they're missing.
All I said was we're going to find out if the manager's any good. That's all it was. And we found out the manager wasn't up to the job. Roman got, and look, Tuchel has them. I'm not even a big fan of Tuchel like that, but Tuchel has them flying.
Yeah.
Has them,
and you know what? They're not even looking that great. They're just looking organised. They're just looking like they're going through the gears right now. Like,
I'm not. It's not Ali James. I think that's aimed at me. I'm results over performances. But give me one of the trophies. Yeah, I'm results over performances. But no, there's a mix in the two. But if we're winning trophies, I don't care how we're getting them. We're not winning no trophies with Ollie. I'm not saying Allegri.
You're right. I would like to get a trophy. It's time to get some trophies now. It's time to get some silverware. But for me, I don't mind if we go out there and I see our players showing a lot of heart, showing a lot of aggression and stuff like that. As long as I see a good football game, I'll enjoy it. I might hate the result, but I much prefer to watch a great performance than win ugly or see like a dead performance.
It's either, like I'd say, it's either or. But that being said, people say Allegri this, Allegri that. This guy had Pirlo and Pogba in a midfield 3. That's not exactly defensive. I wouldn't class that as defensive. Man had Allegri and Pirlo.
Neither of them are dogs. They're both ball players.
And he had Vidal, who is the box.
Yeah, the dog of dogs.
Yeah. And then you had a great defense with Chiellini and them man. You know what I'm saying? Like that absolutely sacred bond there behind it. But yeah, that's what it is. No. But Mourinho don't get results though. We've had Mourinho in that.
Not no more than that. Mourinho's washed now. He's washed. I'm
saying it's a mix. I'm not saying I don't want good football. Yes, but what I'm saying is I think with a manager who puts in a system, I think you get good results. I think you get good results out of this and play better football. I think Allegri plays. Like Tuchel wasn't known for great offensive football, and he had 2 of the best attacking players on the planet in Mbappe and Neymar. Now look at Chelsea.
Yeah, I hear you. You know what? The mad thing is, I was watching City tonight, right? And I was actually thinking, because Soups, you picked up on it a few weeks ago. BT tried to come at City with a boring football comment. Yeah,
they did.
They tried it. It kind of got washed under the carpet, and I think they thought, no one's really picking up too much on it. I was watching City tonight, and I was thinking, are we starting to be a team that are just want to win everything, and we don't care about... Now, I'm not saying the football we're playing...
that Umar makes. You can argue that as well. We played bad football for the longest, but yeah, go on, continue that.
So, I'm not saying City are playing bad football. I'm not saying they're playing boring football, but it's definitely very different to what we are used to, and it's definitely more kind of like German, peppish, like... And I was watching tonight thinking, are we starting to just want to win everything but at all costs? Because I'm not excited. And I was thinking, who in this Manchester City team excites me at the moment?
Foden, probably Foden, isn't it?
There you go. Foden.
It's probably Foden.
I don't, at the moment, like, I love Leroy Sané excited me. Like,
yeah, I get what you're saying.
David Silva excited me. There was something about David Silva. I don't know if I'm excited about the City team at the moment. It's great.
What about Mahrez? What about Mahrez when he's?
I'm not Mahrez is too hit and miss for me. Like
Mahrez too hit and miss. Okay, I get your point. You're saying, and just to point out to James, because you're talking about Allegri having a great defense. The thing is, what the better managers do is get the best out of what they have. Allegri gets. I think any half, even a Tuchel, I'm not a big fan of. If he comes into Manchester United, he gets a tune out of these teams. He gets a tune out of these out of this squad because it's there. You know what I'm saying? And that, like, that's what the better managers do. This is why Klopp had a midfield of Henderson and Ox and Wijnaldum and all these man, and won a Champions League and a Premier League. Nobody is picking that midfield to win you that, but you had a system that worked around it.
Yeah, that's what I've clocked this year with City. That's what I've clocked this year with City. It's the system now. It's the system.
Whole system. You know what I'm saying? And then when you add the players into it, it works. So if a player is missing, how many times, you don't know this, I say this all the time, does De Bruyne cross the ball across the box for Sterling to tap it in at the back post?
Sterling is that player that works on space. That's all he works on.
How many times do we see that? Was doing a watch along with Jan City, and she was like, when Bernardo Silva scored the first goal, she was like, I thought that was David Silva. I've seen him score that goal before.
Yeah,
it's the same thing because worked on, drilled tight. There's no such thing as a Manchester United goal. There's a Manchester City goal.
You watch Zinchenko, he's doing exactly the same as Delph did 2-3 seasons ago.
Because it's drilled and worked on week in, week out. At Manchester United, the issue I have is I don't know what we do on a weekly basis. Like my bro says, I think it's just cardio and vibes.
You know what, bruv? It's not as bad as Tottenham as Kane and Inshallah, bruv. Like, that's what they're going with.
So, they just got, again, Tottenham, I put them in the bracket of us and Chelsea, but I don't think their squad's up to that level. But I watched them they peppered West Ham in that second half. They had Son, Kane, Bale, Ndombele, Mora, Dele Alli all on the pitch. You know? And look at the names I'm just listed. And I'm like, how are you playing defensive football when you have that type of attacking talent? They peppered. They had 20 shots on the goal. Yeah, West Ham did well to get 2-0 in front, but after that, they dominated. They had 70% possession, peppered the goal. So I'm like, that comes down to a good manager gets a tune out of them. They're nowhere near as bad as being made out. Whereas you got Arsenal, I don't know if it's the manager or because the players ain't too good. You know what I'm saying? You got Aubameyang missing from 3 yards out, all them things there. So
I think Arsenal, I mean, we could do a whole episode on Arsenal. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. We watched the Arsenal channel on our channel. The Arsenal Way. We watched their episode earlier, and it was you know what, it's good, but they're as hosts, they're just lost. Ally Soups, they're
confident at all-time low. But the thing is, they're kind of counting themselves out. They still think that they can they've kind of moved the goalposts with what they're trying to achieve this season. So as long as they beat Tottenham, or as long as they finish above Tottenham, or as long as they kind of make strides up the table, they'll kind of be happy with that.
They'll still
start again next season.
That man just trying to get in the top half in that. That's what it is. That man are just mid-table fodder in that. That man trying to get in the top half.
You know what? I like kind of refreshing watching it earlier because it was like on that episode, realization hit. And like I feel for Arteta because I think Arteta has a system, what he's trying to do and whatever. I think his players are just like, when Mario said our squad is better than 11th, I was like, is it though? Or is that what you're saying? Because you was up.
That's the question you have. Is it better than 11th?
That's what I'm saying.
Keeper's decent. They have in Gabriel, they have a good centre back. I think Tierney's a good left back. In Thomas Partey, you got a quality DM.
But he's been injured so far.
Injured, yeah. You got Lacazette. You got Saka, who I think is very talented as well. So
Smith as well.
They're better. Yeah, they're in De Bruyne. They are definitely better than 11th. I would say.
Now, from what you said, they're better than 11th. They
might be 8th. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they're 3 places off. They're 8th, I would say.
But yeah, they're suffering. So back to United. What are you expecting the rest of the season then?
Like I do, relying on every game just for the individual brilliance to pull us through. Literally, that's what it is. We are individual brilliance FC. Every time I sit,
I hear that. I'm sure that.
Watch a Manchester United match, I'm like, all right, one of you talented man do something. Because of the attacking black I listed off the Spurs, we have that, but to a better extent. When you have Greenwood, Rashford, Martial, Cavani, Donny, Bruno, Pogba, all that attacking options, one of them is going to win you a game more often than not. And the reason why the bad spell is because it stopped happening. You know what I'm saying? And that, like, it stopped happening. But the only difference between we drew against West Brom, who are in the relegation zone, We beat Fulham. I think it was 2-3 weeks before that, 2-1. Someone said it on the watch along. The only thing missing from the West Brom game was a Paul Pogba world class.
Yeah,
Goal.
Talking of Pogba, don't you find that Pogba, when you were briefly in that title race, he came alive? Like the thought of winning something made him like, oh, hello, I'll show you what I'm about then. While I might win something, I'll play properly in it. But if I'm not winning nothing,
I don't think it's a lack of playing things. Again, this comes back to the same thing I say. He's in the worst possible predicament to succeed, and he's also playing out of position. All he has him playing as a DM. He's not a defensive midfielder. All he got him going to Anfield and playing right wing to do a job on friggin' Robertson like he's Jason Park. He's mad Jason Park. You know what I'm saying? Is he John O'Shea? Is he Phil Neville? Our best attacking player, you know, doing a defensive job. Our best attacking player doing up Darren Fletcher. I know Darren Fletcher joined joined the coach. How are you treating him?
You know what? And Soups, you called that when Fletcher got that role. Ty was like, "Yeah, we've got Fletcher in." Soups like what? Why is Fletcher becoming our coach? Like,
I know what. I don't mind him becoming it. There wasn't an issue with that. I just like to see experience go to the coaching staff because that's what we lack. We have a lot of experience
best in class. We've got arguably one of the biggest clubs in the world. We should be attracting backroom staff that can actually do a job, that have got experience and stuff, not just the class of 92, just because.
It's that feel good factor though. So yeah, that's what it is in regards to United. What I'm looking forward to the season. Do we have the ability to win the FA Cup? Again, yes, because of the individual players we have. We can win 3 matches and win the FA Cup. The Europa League, is a little bit tougher simply because 1, it's 2-legged, and 2, you're going to come up against at some point a manager who is tactically very savvy. We've seen how we sailed out. I blame Ollie heavily for the ways we went out of both cup competitions, Champions League and Carabao Cup. They're heavily on him. The PSG game not taking off Fred. And then what's mad is Pochettino, who some United fans don't like, I'm a big fan of, is playing ironically against Barcelona. Gay then gets a yellow card just before halftime. What does Pochettino do at halftime? Pull him off the pitch, and then they win 4-1. Ollie left Fred out there, and then here's what it is, isn't it?
Made changes way too late, isn't it?
Hey, Lauren, you lot are 11th. Just putting that out there. 11th.
Saying about Arsenal fans will still talk. They've got no shame whatsoever.
Yeah, bro. She's always in all this big up, Lauren. She's always in the in the live comments talking the most in that.
It's what they're built of. They're those like 4 or 5 years of success. Yeah, is just built a machine out of them Arsenal fans, man. They just keep going, shameless. They'll always pull up the.
They always do
principles and that, and
I'm saying if Arsenal players had the same had the same energy as their fans, they'd be much higher than 11.
Yeah,
fully. 4 on them. Yeah,
okay, so
fans are hella energetic.
So before we wrap it up, because it's getting on a bit, that's why it's called Chew the Fat. This could go on for hours, bruv.
That sounds like a challenge. Let's do it.
Sarcasm City. Where's Sarcasm City going then? Tell us, like.
So the plan is obviously, so when it just started as just the Sarcasm City podcast. That's what it originally was called. And that's when me and Tox decided to go into the media. So it's after the whole battling thing we did, but we was kind of still battling a little bit, Tox more so than me, doing the rap battles. And when we were going back and forth and when we were trolling people on Facebook and Twitter, trolling other battlers, people would laugh and be like, this is jokes. Or when we're having genuine conversation at events, people are laughing. Like, we just be getting about back in the day and we'd be having general conversation about life and random people would be laughing. So I'm like, yeah. Something with this. You know what I'm saying?
Feel that vibe with you. I feel that vibe.
That's what it is. So it's like, all right, let's create the Sarcasm City podcast. So we created it and it was just me and Tox chopping up about whatever. Just literally, it was a Tuesday release. It was 1 a week, started audio. Then eventually we went into the video side of thing. And then it was 1 a week. And then I ended up linking up shout out my Don, Mr. Aaron United. And when he came to the radio show that I'm on with Saeed and Nuruddin, shout out to my Dons also, during the first lockdown, he invited me on his show. So then when he invited me on his show, that's when my following started to grow in that. So I'm still doing Sarcasm City, but that's it. Finding out about, and then I found out eventually later down the line about StreamYard. And the following kept going up. I'm doing Aaron shows. I'm doing different shows. So I'm like, we got a YouTube channel there. let's just start putting content on it. Let's treat this like an actual TV channel where if you go now and you click on ITV, it's 20 to 12, something's on ITV, you get what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, let's go. So sport was the big thing. So we started creating shows. So I can't remember what the first show was, and then started pulling in talented people. So that's why you'll see my boy JV on the show. You'll see Yan City on the show. You'll see Tox on the show, Ryan on the show. And then we've got the Manchester United. So obviously sports the main thing. So we got the Manchester United show. We have an Arsenal show called Gonna Talk from the Arsenal. We have a Manchester City show, which is Garden City. We do the crossover. We do the sport Q&A. We got Agenda FC, which is about strong opinions with my bros, Tox and Lewis. Like there's so many. But then we also have a music show as well on there. So it's not just all sport based. Sarcasm City podcast is still on there because that's just current affairs and us just talking about everything non-sport. So I'm like, there's so much talent. You hear me? I know a lot of talented people. We can create it. It's ours. So the plan is just to keep on growing, keep going live, and keep the fan base growing. Like we're up to approaching. We only just went past 2,000 subscribers. So now we're going the road to 2,500 subs. So that's the plan. Add more shows. Keep the consistency. Like I got a show after this on there. The Q&A is coming up after this. So we just keep going.
Sick. And how long have you been running for?
Sarcasm City is running properly since probably, man, big up Two Ties Talk podcast. That's a fire name as well, and that's a tongue twister.
That's Ty, the guy that runs Trafford Tunnel. That's
fire. That's fire. We started running it properly. So it was during the original lockdown. So it might have been
April.
It might have been April, May since we started running it properly and adding shows and stuff like that. So I'll have to check that out. But it's not been that long.
This is the thing that the reason why I wanted to start doing this. I feel like during lockdown, so many people have started doing this podcast thing, and this is a thing that I kind of want to, like, I've found that, like, on our channel, we've got a lot of different hosts and whatever.
Yeah.
And some of them, I speak to them more than I speak to my brethrens now. Right?
Yeah, facts.
But I don't really know them. And this is the whole thing of this. I want, like, I see when I look at all these podcasts, I'm thinking these hosts have got personalities. These hosts, one day could become what's the word? What they call suits? Influencers. These hosts have personalities. Like, and let's be real, YouTube and the whole, internet thing. This is the future of TV. Like, so all these people, like, these are personalities that need to get out there, and that's exactly why I wanted to do this show. And that's what I saw in you. You are a personality, like 100.
But I appreciate that, and that's what the thing is, and that's why with Sarcasm City TV, I was very particular with, like, it's not just sport. Sports might be the main thing because that's driving in the most numbers, the most views, but we still have 2 or 3 shows. Like I said, we have the music show on a weekly basis. We have the Sarcasm City podcast. They're non-sport shows. We do a special at the end because the Talk About It network is the podcast network, and there's 2 other podcasts on there with Sarcasm City, and we just get waved and do a wrap up of the month. Last Friday, last Saturday, everyone gets waved, and we just do a wrap. It's just something different from the sport, but I want something for everyone on there. So that's, you might watch it for something, Soups might watch it for something, but then I don't know, somebody else watch. Like Lauren has been there from the start, from when we started it, and that, like, it's just different things. Like, that's what it is. We're trying to attract, like, not everyone will watch BBC for the same thing. Not everyone will watch ITV for the same thing, or Sky One. Like, not watching it all for the same. There'll be different shows on there. So that's what
courses and that. Everyone's got different flavors. Everyone's got different things that they like. So if they can go there and find something that they like, then all good.
And that's what we aim to do. That's why there's an MMA show on there, like, called Walk to the Octagon. I'm not an MMA fan, I don't know, but I know there's a market for that. I know there's talent. You know about that. Let's do that. That's why there's a boxing show on there. I'm a big boxing fan, so I'm like, all right, this makes sense. That type of thing.
100. It's good. So this is the whole thing. Like, we're getting to know different people, different channels, and the best thing is that things like this, I always say, it's got a longer bookshelf life, because this isn't talking about the game at the weekend. This is talking about you, and you're going to be here for a long time. So this is about Flawless, and this is for people to check out and find out your story, like the music thing. So now I want everyone to go out and check Flawless and Toxic's music.
Yeah.
And we're going to link up, and we're going to get some of your music. We're going to play that on our show and whatever else.
Absolutely.
I love for that. Appreciate that. Like I said, definitely this year, because we prioritized it. You'll hear more music. Like I said, Tox is heading that up at the minute. That's why he dropped the release that's in Sarcasm, the freestyle that he dropped in Sarcasm City last month. I don't know when the Lab 51's coming out, but I presume it's before this month's out. So hopefully that'll drop. And then there'll be something in March, and then you'll start getting more releases. Like I said, more actual music videos and projects and that. That's what I'm looking forward to. Project releases.
Yeah, for real. That is the way. And you know what? I was going to say this earlier, but we moved on. It's kind of like we're the same. So me and Soups do radio every Friday.
Yeah. Hey, radio bang. I fucks with that.
It's our kind of release. Like radio is just, we used to do it and we used to make a bit of money out and whatever, but now it's our release when we finish work on a Friday night. Like, and we're running that hand in hand with the podcast thing. And we think it's the same as you, that the podcast will grow, but then slowly we're going to start bringing the music back in, because this is what we love. Don't get me wrong, I love football, but our love for music is different. Like,
yeah, I get what you're saying. People cross. Like the thing is, people cross over in it. So that's what that is. So that's why I don't worry about, like you spoke on earlier about numbers and stuff like that. This is why I don't worry about big up Zayn and messages like that. I love that, where people are like, "Oh, your content's helped me get through lockdown," even if it's one person.
Definitely, everyone who's been in the comments, you know what, who's kind of been struggling through, anyone who's been struggling through lockdown or anything like that. It's good to, all of us like get together, all go through the same thing. Let's just talk, innit?
This is 100%. This is the thing that we always say, that, and I put a tweet about this the other day, that the amount of men that have got through lockdown by just, whether it be that they're running a podcast, whether it be that they're coming on as a guest on a podcast, the amount of men that have just got that release talking about football, just come in, and because they can't go to the pub and talk about football, they can't, so just coming on a podcast or even watching a podcast and talking about football, the amount of people that's got through lockdown is mad.
These are the conversations that they probably would have been having with their peoples, linking up, whether they go to the ground or you go to your brothers or dads or mums or uncles or whoever type of thing. But yeah, that I was saying, that's why I don't worry about like numbers. I say, because I get messages and people, walk to the octagon. It's called, every show on Sarcasm City TV, there's a playlist for. So if you want a specific show, just go there, click the playlist, and then you can pick whatever. They've all got descriptions, whatever show. So if it's the boxing, the MMA, whatever. But yeah, in terms of, this is why I don't worry about like views and stuff like that, because whoever rocks with you is going to rock with you. Because I get messages and people will be like, "Oh, what do I do to start up, etc." And I tell people all the same thing in it. 1, be yourself. 2, be consistent. 3, have a clear game plan. And 4, just don't work, build it, and the people will follow. Build it, and even if you start and it's 2 weeks and you have 2 viewers over that 2 weeks, next week that can go to 4. All right, crap to the outside, but it's like, right, we got 4 people. Like we've had people, we can go in an hour and 37 minutes. To keep somebody engaged for 37 minutes is a lot.
Yeah,
because they can be anywhere else, but they choose to be here on the Lookout show on the channel watching it. So that's how I look at it. This is why I don't concern doing great numbers is good, because I've seen my numbers grow, but I still fuck with the core audience. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what? You're right, bruv. And that is the thing that, you know what? You could go out and you could tell every single one of your friends to go and like your video, go and watch your video, but that's not organic. And in the long term, they're not going to do that every week. So that's not going to grow. The only way it's going to grow is if people actually like you. If they don't like you, if they don't like the vibe, they're not going to watch you. Like, it doesn't matter if they're your best friend. Like, they ain't going to watch you every week. So, and you know what? If you get enjoyment out of it.
Yeah. And that's why I do, as much as I give enjoyment to people during the lockdown, if they've enjoyed the content, it's helped me. Like the shows where if my co-host is running late and I've gone live, I'm going back and forth with people in the comments. Like we're having a conversation. They're hosting the show.
I've clocked it. All this stuff you're talking about, I've clocked, bruv. Like
that's that type of thing. So that's why I don't worry about it. Like, yes, your numbers will grow, but you can't. This is why I don't ask people for like anything in the sense of I never be like, you talk to the I never say to my brethren like, yo, like my video, share my video. I never be like in someone's DMs and be like, and this is not me knocking anyone. That's just how I move. People be like, oh, can you retweet this? Can you like this? Blah. Like if they wanted to do it to me, you would do it. If we're done and you see me pushing something, retweet it.
Yeah, earning it feels better, doesn't it?
Like I said,
we learned that.
Tox is my bro. I don't have to ask him to retweet anything. He retweets everything.
There you go.
Not in
now,
like
100, the organic thing's different, bro. If you can't get the organic thing right, you might as well allow it, innit? Because it's just
organic thing. Yeah, don't try and be like anybody else in it. Like have a clear plan. Like, all right, I'm going in this direction. I'm trying to do that. I have a clear plan with what I'm trying to do with Sarcasm City TV. I'm not copying anyone else or trying to be like anyone else. I'm just here like, if you like this content, cool. And not all the content involves me. You might not like me. You might like the MMA show because you might just be an MMA fan. Cool.
Yeah, we've found that massively with everything. And even like tonight, if I look at tonight, because I was thinking, oh, you know what, this is the first time we're going on something. We're planning to talk for maybe 45 minutes to an hour. Don't know much, but we're just going to go on and freestyle the thing. About an hour before, I sat there and wrote out some questions. And I never do that. I always like, no scripts.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at my phone once for that, bruv. Like, because it was kind of like, I was saying Soups earlier, it's a bit like back in the day when you have to chat to a chick, innit? You've either got game or you haven't, yeah? If you ain't got game, yeah, the conversation is going to run dry very quickly, yeah? If you've got game, yeah, within 5 minutes, she's going to be like, oh, I feel so comfortable. I feel like I've known you for years. Like, and that is, I had a feeling that is how today was going to go, bruv. Like
rapport building, yeah. It's proper rapport building 101 and it's worked.
It's going to go in tangents and...
If someone would have said, if you show this to someone and someone goes, oh, those three have known each other for years, they believe it because we're just having a conversation. Bear in mind, this is the first ever time I've spoke to these two.
Yeah, real talk, 100.
But because conversation flows, you man can conversate. We're all talkers. So let's talk.
So we've all got game, yeah? Okay, cool.
You set the bar very, very high for future guests as well.
Nah, for real. So listen, we're gonna wrap it up here, but you know what, we're gonna have to get you back on, like, because the conversation. But I want you to so firstly, anyone locked in, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, or you've been commenting, all of that. Make sure you check out Never a Foul for whether it be music, whether it be we've got an Arsenal, a City, a Chelsea, United. Who else? A Tottenham channel. And then soon the cave will open back up. Then it's going to get mad heated. But over to Sarcasm City. Where can they find you and the channel?
So yeah, people, you can find me personally. You get me at That's Me Flawless on Twitter and Instagram. And in terms of Sarcasm City, the YouTube's there and it's Sarcasm City TV. Type that in. Subscribe to the channel. When you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell. Like I said, multiple shows. We've got football shows, Manchester United, Manchester City. We've got Arsenal, boxing show, MMA show, music show. Yeah, me shows where we're just current affairs. The Sarcasm City podcast gets wild in it. So you see how you were talking about like how the having game thing, like if you're easily offended, the Sarcasm City podcast not for you because that gets wild.
You know what?
I'm gonna bring you on one of them.
I was hearing you when you were saying one time, say it with your titties.
Yeah, say it with your titties, in it. You know what I'm saying?
I was like, yes, yeah, exactly that.
Say with your titties.
But then when someone tries to go for it, you're like, no, you can't talk like that. This is my sister. This is my sister. I can talk like that. You can't talk like that. But the other thing is with Sarcasm City, listen, people, yeah. Unlike some channels, you can go on there at midnight, and them man have got some funny shows that you can catch vibes to later.
Yeah, we live. Like I said, we're literally going live. There's the Sarcasm City Sports Q&A that we set up simply because people were always asking sporting questions, you know, when we're just doing random shows. So Tox was like, do a Q&A thing. So then we set it up. So it's myself, Yan City, and Ryan, and we'll just answer any sporting question. Don't have to be football. It's any sport, past or present. But yeah, like you said, I'll run joke with Yan City because that's my people's. You get what I'm saying? And that. But if someone tries to take it too far in the comments, I'll be like, nah, that can't. Don't think because I say that. Nah, because the same thing.
You don't know them like that. Yeah,
you don't know them like that. Same way I wouldn't jump on here and start talk because I don't know you man like that. I start doing busting personal bants because I don't know you man's boundaries like that. So that's just respecting. You get what I'm saying? In that.
Same page. Facts. Right. So it has been Tudor Fat. I've been Daps. That's been Soups.
That's right.
Anything else to say, Soups?
It's been flawless. No. I'm just saying. Yeah. I think you said it all. So look out for the show regularly. We'll be doing more shows, getting more guests on, peeling back the layers, chewing the fat, just getting to know people. So make sure you stay on and stay subscribed.
Big up.
Bless. Do you want to hit? Bless, brother. That was